I would say when you wake up, you always have two choices, whether to live with your dream, to sleep with your
Yeah.
dream, or to make it happen. So for that, और मतलब सबको ना reminders चाहिए होते हैं कि हमें क्या
Right.
करना है, या मतलब obviously everybody सब भटक जाते हैं बीच बीच में.
So we met like 4 to 5 years back, right? हम लोग
Yeah.
एक सिमिलर प्रोजेक्ट पे कोलैबोरेट कर रहे थे. एक्चुअली कोलैबोरेट भी नहीं था, हम लोग फर्स्ट टाइम ही मिले थे उस पे. सो टेल मी अबाउट योरसेल्फ कि तूने आर्ट एज अ करियर चॉइस क्यों चूज किया, एंड एक्चुअली तूने बिगिन कहाँ से किया, मतलब व्हाट इज योर फर्स्ट मेमोरी ऑफ आर्ट?
So basically, I used to paint when I was in school. I used to paint and
Okay.
sketch, and I used to attend a lot of summer camps,
Okay.
art-related summer camps, but mostly sketching. And this summer camp that I had joined in class 7, उसमें मैंने अपनी first painting बनाई थी, and I really didn't like it. Like I didn't like how
Okay.
I painted, and that's when I stopped painting, and I thought that I'll only do sketching. But that was just
Okay.
like random. That was not. I never decided that I want to pursue art or go
Hmm.
into the field of art. That was never the plan.
Okay.
Then, when I came to class 11, my parents wanted me to take science and become a doctor because my sister is
Okay.
already an engineer. So, they wanted a doctor in their place. तो मैंने मेडिकल की, मैंने आकाश इंस्टीट्यूट ज्वाइन किया, मैंने
Okay.
AIPMT का प्रिपरेशन किया. उसके बाद 12th के बाद मैंने अराउंड 20 मेडिकल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स दिए
Okay.
ज़बरदस्ती, जो कि मुझे नहीं देने थे, एंड आई पर्पसली डिड नॉट परफॉर्म वेल बिकॉज आई डिडंट वांट टू गेट इनटू मेडिकल.
Okay. So this
So
was like actually on purpose या ऐसे ही था?
no, that was on purpose कि मुझे नहीं
Okay.
जाना था मेडिकल में. But I also was not sure कि मुझे करना क्या है लाइफ में, बिकॉज
Right.
मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं कि मैं आर्ट परस्यू कर सकते हैं, या फिर मुझे ना ये कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं पता था कि आर्ट में कुछ करियर होता है या फिर कैसे होता है.
Okay.
लाइक मुझे क्लैरिटी नहीं थी, बिकॉज nobody in my family or people that I know of have
Yeah.
done anything in art. Like I'm the
Okay.
first one to do it. Or even business. Like my family, मेरे family में कोई भी business नहीं करता है, मेरे friends में कोई भी business नहीं करता है.
Okay.
तो मुझे पता नहीं था कि मतलब कैसे होता है ये सब. तो मैंने मेडिकल लिया, फिर मैंने एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स दिए. सो देयर वाज दिस वन एंट्रेंस एग्जाम दैट वाज ऑफ एमिटी नोएडा, एंड
Yeah.
वो मैंने सिर्फ इसीलिए फिल किया बिकॉज दैट वाज बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, मतलब मेडिकल का ही फील्ड है, मेडिकल बायोटेक्नोलॉजी था.
Okay.
तो मैंने अंडर परफॉर्म किया जो बाकी टेस्ट में भी. उसके बाद भी मेरे 2 में क्लियर हो गया, ठीक है, मेडिकल. तो मैंने अपने पेरेंट्स को बोला कि मुझे नहीं करना है, मतलब मेडिकल, मतलब ये नहीं बोला मेडिकल नहीं करना है, बट मैंने उन्हें बोला कि मुझे आप लोगों से दूर नहीं जाना है, which was
Okay.
not true. Which was not true. So
Yeah, I know you
so
love to
then
travel.
yeah, I love to travel. So then I just convinced them कि ठीक है, मतलब Noida is the closest, so I will go for
Okay.
Amity Noida and I'll do medical biotechnology, which I did for 5 years. I didn't want to do it. And when I was in my second year, I was going through a really, really tough time. I was in depression for 4 years after that,
Okay.
followed by the second year that I was in. So I was in depression, and I didn't draw or anything. मैंने कुछ भी create नहीं
Okay.
किया था तब तक. But as I was not in a good state, so I don't know how I picked up a brush and the paints, or मैंने paint किया and I drew something really beautiful that I really liked. It's not my own original artwork, but it's somebody else's. But I copied it, और वो बहुत ज़्यादा crazy बना. So
Okay.
that's when I realized that I started expressing through art. And जितने भी मैंने artworks बनाए थे, if I see them now, I can see a story building. That I was in
Okay.
pain for the things that were happening to me. And उसके बाद कैसे कैसे सब कुछ ठीक हुआ, कैसे I recovered, how things changed in terms of colors, in terms of elements that I started drawing.
Okay.
So I created these couple of artworks, and that's when Hosteler happened. One of my friends used to go Hosteler में stay करने के लिए
Okay.
during his trips. So he just told me about this hostel, and he said कि तू उनसे एक बार पूछ ले, क्योंकि वो wall art करते हैं. So I dropped them a mail, and I was not expecting a reply, but I received a reply in a couple of days, and they were
Okay.
really interested to have me there, which was
Okay.
Rishikesh, where we met. So
Yeah.
that was also my first solo trip. I had traveled before that, but with my friends or family only. I had never traveled alone.
Okay.
And I didn't even know that I liked traveling. But I just knew that I did not like to stay at home because the conditions in my family are not okay. Like, it's been pretty violent and abusive.
Okay.
And so I don't like staying here. So that's why I wanted to move out or do something else, but I had no clarity of it. So yeah, that's the basic story of how I came here.
Yep. So there's this thing ki when I first met you, you had told me that this is like your proper first project sort of thing. So
Yeah,
from there, now cut to 5 years later, you are like doing this actually professionally, and you are doing it for not only the hosteler, but you are doing it for many of the clients, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
how has your art changed in this 5 years? Like, do you see some change?
Yeah, I do see some change. Obviously, the skill has improved. I have learned a lot of things from each project. Like, I
Okay.
always take projects as challenges. और मुझे अपने से खुद से काम करना इतना पसंद नहीं है जितना लोगों के अंडर काम करना पसंद है, because they always
Okay.
give me new challenges to
Yeah, there's
work
always a
on. और फिर
guidance.
yeah, exactly. मतलब it's not about guidance, but दूसरे लोगों के काम, दूसरे लोगों के तरीके से काम करना या उनकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस है, उससे आई थिंक हम अपने आप के बारे में बहुत कुछ समझते हैं, अपने आर्ट फॉर्म के बारे में बहुत कुछ समझते हैं कि
Okay.
मतलब बेसिकली बहुत ज़्यादा इवॉल्व हो जाते हैं. तो या दैट्स देयर. पहले आई यूज्ड टू मिक्स एंड मैच अ लॉट ऑफ पेंटिंग्स एंड एवरीथिंग. लाइक आई यूज्ड टू मिक्स इट
Okay.
विद स्केचिंग और ये सब, मतलब मैं एलिमेंट्स मिक्स करती थी. Abhi, I recently I switched to botanicals, although I kept saying for a lot
Yeah.
of years that I don't like botanicals, I don't like florals,
Okay.
but I anyway switched to it because that was the requirement of most of the clients. So I
Okay.
got here, and now again I'm not very happy about the art form that I'm doing because I like to experiment with things.
Yeah.
I don't like to stick to one thing. So with botanicals, I'm so comfortable now that I want something discomforting. I want to try something new.
Okay.
So abhi, like currently I'm trying a few different art forms, which I don't think have a name really, but I just create
Okay.
my own art forms. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, were you a born artist or you learned it on the way? Like, what is it?
I was partially a born artist. I won't deny that,
Okay.
but I don't know. I mean, my mother saw it in me. So I used to like draw मतलब crayons से walls पे जैसे हर
Yeah.
बच्चा करता है. I used to do that,
Yeah.
and I don't know what she saw in that, but she told my dad that she wanted me to go ahead with it. So I
Okay.
joined a few drawing classes, और मैं कुछ drawing classes में सीखने भी नहीं जाती थी. मतलब मैं कुछ सुनती नहीं थी अपने teachers का. वो मुझे बोलते थे कि ये
Right.
बनाओ बनाओ या सिखा देते थे. मैं कुछ नहीं सुनती थी, उनका कुछ नहीं बनाती थी. जो मेरा मन करता था वही करती थी. तो आई
Okay.
वोंट से कि मैंने सीखा है, बट या पार्शली इट वाज देयर. एंड एक्सपेरिमेंट्स से आई हैव लर्नड अ लॉट बाय माई सेल्फ. मतलब मैंने बहुत
Okay.
एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किया है. मैंने आई वुड से मैंने बहुत आर्ट वर्क्स कॉपी भी किए हैं, बिकॉज आई थिंक कॉपी करने से हमें पता चलता है कि हम क्या क्या कर
Yeah.
सकते हैं.
हाँ, मतलब
यू नो
लर्निंग फेज में
लाइक
तो सिखाता ही है वो.
yeah, exactly. And inspiration doesn't come by itself. Like it only
Yeah.
comes
Right.
कि जब तुम बाकी आर्टिस्ट का आर्ट देखो या कंपेयर
Yeah.
करो या उनकी तरीके से
Yeah. When you
उनके
explore
तरीके
the
बनाना
artwork.
स्टार्ट करो.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that मतलब yeah partially है, but yeah I think I developed it myself
Okay.
through
So,
these years. Yeah.
is there any like one of your artwork which is your like blatantly मतलब सबसे जो favorite है, and one of which like तुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं आया but client के लिए करना पड़ा?
बहुत सारे honestly, but जो मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है, there was this artwork जिसमें मैंने एक face बनाया है,
Okay.
and उसमें मैंने टेक्स्ट लिखा है बहुत बहुत छोटा छोटा, and it looks like a newspaper print. I've already sold that
Okay.
artwork and I don't want to create a copy of it again. It's not my original
Yeah.
artwork. I have mixed and matched it with somebody else's
Okay.
because it was a requirement of the client. Otherwise, I'm really attached to the walls that I do. Matlab,
Yeah.
now I want to move to walls more than canvases because I've already drawn on very short, like small mediums, but
Yeah.
now I want to go big. क्योंकि when I'm drawing on walls now, तो it's just so massive and it
Yeah.
it
Right.
just makes me feel so whole, and I don't want to let it go. It's just the whole journey and the hardest part of the entire trip, or the,
Yeah.
the process of drawing, is leaving that artwork, because I don't want
Yeah.
to let it go,
Okay.
because I give my entire heart in
Yeah,
creating
it's
that,
like it
even though
becomes your baby. So
yeah,
you don't want it to
exactly.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, most of the walls I love, and there have been a lot of artworks that I don't like. So I
Okay.
mean, I don't have
So
a
it's just
particular
for
one. There are
the
plenty.
money, right?
The ones that I don't like,
Yeah.
no, not necessarily. They have been my own artworks also that I don't like.
Okay.
But I think that's how we learn. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
mistakes are always welcomed.
Okay. So when you take up like some project work, what is your mindset like? How do you prepare कि हाँ मुझे जाके वहाँ पे ये चीज करना है? But what is the process like? कि how do you start like imagining what you have to do?
Uh, I don't know how to put that into words. So see, if somebody asks me to draw a particular thing that they want me to
Yeah.
draw, then it's not that tough, because I just
Yeah.
have to like
Right.
copy and just add my own touch. So that's not a problem. But when the client asks me to create something of my own, or
Yeah.
come up with something of my own and design it for them and then get it finalized, then I think the whole process, I think it takes a lot of time and thought process. तो उसमें I try to go outside, meet new people all the time. So that's how I
Yeah.
get inspired, because most of my artworks are nature inspired, humans inspired,
Yeah.
feelings inspired, all these things. So I draft rough copies of it, and I mean, I will admit that there are a lot of copies that I draw. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक ही बारी में
Yeah.
हो जाता है. It's a long process. It takes a lot of time. But yeah, eventually, yeah, जो draft करती हूँ मैं design, I try to paint like at least half of it, कि वो समझ जाए कि sketch वाला part, how is it different from the painted part. So
Okay.
then I show it to the client, and if they like it, then we go ahead with it. So it's not
Cool.
that tough, but yeah, it's a long process.
Okay. So once when like for example like if we take the hostela, so when you had gone there for the first time, you had anything in your mind कि मुझे जाके यहाँ पे ये करना है? You went with like open mind कि जो होगा सो होगा.
They actually asked me if I knew how to do wall art, but
Okay.
I did not know that, because that was my first wall art project, and I
Yeah.
was not even expecting to get selected for it, because that's
Okay.
something that I've never done. I don't have an expertise in. I've not even experimented with it. So I was very nervous about putting myself on the wall.
Okay.
But when Raktim had helped me with one wall, and then the second, and then the third, like he had told me कि क्या करना है first wall में, and I did it,
Yeah.
and he liked it. And in the second wall, he gave the half part to me कि ऐसे करना है, and I did it, and I was really surprised how comfortable I already was with the wall. I didn't know that I could do it,
Yeah.
but I always surprise myself with each artwork कि मैं ये भी कर सकती हूँ. So
Okay.
that's there. Yeah.
Okay. So you told me about that how you almost went into depression and you started coloring and it helped you, right? So
Yeah.
do you think your art has made you more confident now because like it
Yeah, it
helps you in a
has.
way, right?
For
So
sure, for
do
sure.
you think if someone who is not an artist but he's like into he's gone into depression like that sort of phase, so should he take up art of any kind, like not just painting but any kind of art? Does it help?
Yeah, I think so. I think it helps because art, basically any form of art, gives us a way to express ourselves. I mean,
Yeah.
I won't say it's the same for everybody else, but that is what majority of the people feel. Music, paintings, and playing an instrument, or cooking,
Yeah.
or gardening, all these are
Yeah.
forms of art. And one has, like, I have always observed among my friends, among the people that I see on Instagram or off social media, they have evolved with art, and they've become a new
Yeah.
person with art. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Like, I
Okay.
think people
So
should
yeah,
do it.
you say that you have seen people evolve with art. I have seen you evolve with art. Like 5 years back, I don't know if it is a right like term to put it, but you were a little underconfident with your art, but now you're like super confident. You know
Yeah,
what you want right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
true.
I think so. It does change, and
Yeah,
so like there's this issue in India where art is not like one of the mainstream career choice for many people. So like our society doesn't understand that art. can help you earn money as well. So when you took up arts as a career, how did you explain it to your parents? Like, do they support you?
uh, I would say even now my dad like partially supports
Okay.
me. When he sees that the money is coming, then he gets
Yeah.
excited about it. But I won't say
Okay.
that he's fully into supporting it. But I have been a rebel. It's been very tough to
Yeah.
convince him because like my relationship with my dad is not that, like we don't talk. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So to explain him something like that, it's very tough. And I don't think we need to. Sometimes we don't need to explain things to people because we know that they won't understand, and it's okay. So, so when I was doing biotechnology, that's when I started working also.
Okay.
That's when I started. I had a job at McDonald's. I worked
Yeah.
at Vishal Mega Mart and all these things because I knew that I
Okay.
had to create a life of my own and I cannot be
Yeah.
dependent on my father for the money. So I used to do it. I lied to him. I hid things from him that I was going on trips. Even now, he does not know anything about Hostler. He doesn't know
Okay.
that exists in
Yeah.
my life. But I've been to places. He doesn't know anything about that. So it's been tough, and अभी तक मैं उनको नहीं मना पाई हूँ. But I think eventually it'll happen because
Yeah.
that's what I want to do, and I can't run away from it. I've also tried giving up on it so many times, but eventually I get back on it. Not by my
Yeah.
own, but I think the universe, I don't know, does things that make you get back to your art. So yeah, that
Yeah.
has happened.
And
And I
there's
know
this
also,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Go on.
So I forgot. It's okay, you continue.
So, like, there's this thing in you where I've seen ki the way you talk about your art and the way you describe your art, it's, I don't know how to like even put it. It's unnatural. So, like, I have seen this. It comes naturally to you. Like, it comes from within. So, it's sort of meditation for you, right?
Yeah,
So, like,
it
जितना
is.
भी तू उससे detach होना चाहेगी, like, at the end you will come back to it. That's what I
Yeah,
feel.
true. Hmm.
Okay. So, if there's like a like budding artist who wants to get into this
Hmm.
field, what would you suggest to him or her? Like, what should be their conversation with their parents? How should they tell them ki this is what I want to do? Because
This
you
is
have
very
like
tough. You should not
you
be
have been
asking me
there.
this.
No, but
uh,
like you have seen
yeah.
both sides of this coin, right?
Yeah, I think I won't say that one can be completely honest because there are some families who do not accept all these things. But
Yeah.
I would just say never give up on whatever you want to do in life. Always fight for it because it's your life, not your parents' life. Although they've given you
Yeah.
birth, although they've provided you with education, with money, with food, with shelter, all these things, but in the end, it's your life, and you have to decide for yourself. So for some family, obviously talking it out makes things better.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be honest with them. Just be honest that it makes you happy, and if you would do something else, then you wouldn't be that happy. And अगर तुम उनके लिए कुछ करोगे फ्यूचर में किसी ऐसी चीज से जो तुम एंजॉय नहीं कर रहे हो, तो मतलब कोई सेंस नहीं है कि अपने पेरेंट्स के लिए कुछ करना ऐसे
Yeah.
मतलब उस चीज से. But if you're doing something that you really love and then you are even returning 10% of it to your
Hmm.
parents, you will be really happy doing that and they will be happy seeing you. So that's
Yeah.
what matters.
So
And
I have seen this key when someone like chooses a career path like arts, so the parents are at first they are dicey, but with time they understand because they see the kid is happy and also he or she is like earning a good amount of money because abhi to
yeah,
2020 and isme art is like earning a lot of money.
yeah. But I would say everybody should be prepared to take the long journey. मतलब ये ऐसा नहीं है कि एक दो साल में हो जाता है.
Hmm.
बहुत बहुत टफ है, बहुत कंपटीशन भी है क्योंकि तो everybody should be patient. Like artists, all kind of artists have to be patient
Yeah.
anyway. Like they don't have a choice.
Yeah. Right.
तो ये समझना कि एक दो साल में जैसे कि बाकी करियर्स डॉक्टर मतलब आई वोंट से डॉक्टर बहुत जल्दी बन जाते हैं बट जो भी है
Hmm.
इंजीनियरिंग या कोई भी एंड आई डोंट डिसरिस्पेक्ट एनी फील्ड. तो बाकी जितने भी करियर्स है उसमें तुम कॉलेज जाते हो और तुम्हें जॉब मिल जाता है, तुम सब कुछ कर लेते हो जो तुम्हें बताया जाता है, बट आर्ट में सिर्फ तुम अपनी सुनते हो. तो
Right.
एक आर्टिस्ट बनना फ्रॉम अ नॉर्मल पर्सन who's a non-artist to becoming a famous artist, and going through all the competition that's there around, it's very tough. The journey is very tough,
Yeah.
and I won't say that I've not reached anywhere till now, but I do appreciate and acknowledge the journey that I've been through, and it's been nice. And you will have really really hard days where you will want to give up, where there will
Yeah.
be criticism and all that. So that's a part of the journey, because pursuing art is something I think बहुत बड़ी बात होती है.
Right.
Guts नहीं होते सब लोगों में कि मतलब आधे लोगों को तो
Yeah.
समझ भी नहीं आता कि क्या करना है, जैसे मुझे भी नहीं समझ आया था. But I think art evolves you and it makes you the person you are, and eventually you'll find where you want to go. So I mean, I would just
Okay.
say just go with it.
Yeah. So, like now, art is not just like, for example, like you just don't paint it or like you don't photograph a picture. It's also about social media, right? Like
Yeah,
there are artists who are like actually creating art just for the sake of social media because they want those numbers. So I put up this post a few days back where I told people that just don't run behind the numbers, create art when it comes to you naturally. But people don't understand this thing these days. So what is your take on that? Like what I mean, how has art
see it
changed because of social media?
See, it happens with me also, and I think it happens with everyone because
Yeah.
there is so much competition, there is so much anxiety because of comparison between your work and somebody else's work, and I also fall in the same pit a lot of times. I would say like almost like twice a week. It's
Yeah.
that often, but in the end, you know that I mean the numbers are not helping you. Obviously they're
Yeah.
helping to an extent because that helps in marketing, and Instagram
Yeah.
to
Right.
abhi marketplace ban chuka hai pura, which is nice also, like
Yeah.
which is helpful for a lot of people जिन लोगों को नहीं पता था कि हमें क्या करना है, but just because they're experimenting वो लोग समझ पा रहे हैं कि oh my god I can sing, oh my god I can draw. So that
Right.
is also there, but to understand that the numbers is only going to make you anxious and not let you progress is very
Yeah.
important. And I don't really know कि ऐसे कैसे समझ सकते हैं ये चीजें, बट या आई थिंक सेल्फ एनालिसिस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इस चीज़ के लिए कि
Okay.
तुम्हें अपना पर्पस पता होना चाहिए कि अगर मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ तो मैं वो क्यों कर रहा हूँ, एंड इफ आई एम पुटिंग इट आउट देयर एम आई पुटिंग इट आउट फॉर नंबर्स बिकॉज देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल who are doing
Yeah.
it like specifically for numbers, or there are people who want to market themselves, and the third can be just because they want to share it with people so that
Yeah.
people can relate. So there are like 3 to 4 aspects of that,
Yeah.
and I think everybody has their own. Some have all of these in mind, which I think I do. I personally do.
Yeah.
And it's been very tough for me also to you know think about myself and not the competition, not the
Yeah.
numbers. But yeah, eventually I think you understand on your own. जब नहीं होता है तो समझ आ जाता है कि बहुत मुश्किल है.
Yes.
तो बस मतलब आई वोंट इवन से कंसिस्टेंसी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है पोस्ट करने में, बट आई वुड से कंसिस्टेंसी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है अपने आर्ट को प्रैक्टिस करने में. इस चीज के लिए
Okay.
बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कंसिस्टेंसी, अदरवाइज यू वोंट ग्रो.
Okay, and
या
so I have seen this like when I asked you कि तू आएगी क्या शो पे, so I did this research work and मैं like काफी पुराने टाइम के जो पेंटर्स थे उनके बारे में भी पढ़ रहा था. So I noticed this thing कि all the old painters, their paintings and their artwork actually वो famous होना start हुआ after their death, and
या
it also started getting famous after their death because media boom उसके बाद ही start हुआ एक certain age के बाद में, like पीरियड के बाद में. सो सोशल मीडिया ने भी तुझे हेल्प किया लाइक टू गेट क्लाइंट्स बिकॉज अब तो बहुत
या
ज्यादा इजी हो जाता है टू शो योर आर्ट वर्क ऑल्सो.
या मेजरली सोशल मीडिया नहीं किया, मतलब वर्ड ऑफ माउथ से तो बहुत कम लोगों से हम
अब
मिल
तो
पाते हैं.
पॉसिबल ही नहीं है.
हाँ, जितने लोगों से मतलब ऑब्वियसली कोविड की वजह से पॉसिबल नहीं है, बट या आई थिंक
या
उससे पहले भी लोगों को समझना बहुत मुश्किल है कि अगर इफ आई टेल अबाउट माई सेल्फ कि मैं ये करती हूँ ऐसे ऐसे है, देन आई अगेन आई हैव टू शो देम समथिंग कि
या
क्या सैम्पल है, और उसके लिए मैं अपना सोशल मीडिया ही दिखाती हूँ. तो आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द क्लाइंट्स हैव कम बाय सोशल मीडिया ओनली. वही
ओके.
मेजर है, अदरवाइज कॉन्टैक्ट से थोड़ा बहुत हो जाता है, बट नॉट लाइक मेजरली. तो वही है, सोशल मीडिया हैज अ ग्रेट इम्पैक्ट, लाइक इट्स अ ग्रेट
ओके.
मार्केट प्लेस.
या
या
So, are there any like social media hacks जो तू use करती है मतलब to gain more followers or like to just market yourself? Or you keep it
Not
organic?
really.
कि
Yeah, most of the time, but yeah, I do try to नोटिस कि बाकी आर्टिस्ट क्या कर रहे हैं, जैसे कि मतलब,
okay,
और मुझे ना बहुत रॉ चीजें पसंद है, मुझे फैंसी चीजें नहीं पसंद.
yeah,
मतलब ऑब्वियसली आई डू लाइक पीपल हु डू फ्लैट लेज एंड
yeah,
a lot of editing. Obviously I do
yeah,
that, I like doing that, but I also want to keep it raw and natural, and I want people to connect with me.
yeah,
So that's what I try to work with. I don't know if I've been successful at that or not, but abhi recently I started connecting with a lot of people because I post my own videos, which I didn't used to do pehle.
yeah,
So that's there. I think the way of marketing yourself also keeps evolving. It's not like you make particular hack अगर मैंने सोचा तो मैं वही करती हूँ. I
yeah,
watch other people do art and I try to, if I like them, if people are liking them because of who they are and because of how, I mean the process majorly, I try
yeah,
to inculcate the same in my art form. So basically there's this particular artist that I follow, and she just makes stories painting, not
okay,
because she wants to show कि मतलब कुछ वीडियोस होती है जिसमें ना स्ट्रोक्स मूव कर रहे होते हैं, जो बहुत
yeah,
मेडिटेटिव वीडियोस होती हैं, बट शी डजंट मेक वीडियोस लाइक दैट. शी मेक्स वीडियो ऑफ हर स्टूडियो. बहुत सारे कलर्स होते हैं उसमें, एंड हर पैलेट मिक्सिंग कैसे हो रही है, और उसकी
yeah,
कोई भी वीडियो एडिटेड नहीं होती कि एक फ्रेम के बाद दूसरा फ्रेम और ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है, कुछ भी नहीं.
okay,
शी जस्ट
okay, मतलब
पुट्स
एक ही flow में.
स्टोरीज. हाँ, बहुत ही रॉ स्टोरीज. शी डज नॉट एडिट देम
Okay,
एट ऑल. वो बस मतलब फोन खोलती है और स्टोरी रिकॉर्ड करती है और बस पूरा दिन पेंट करती है. देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ
okay,
गुड म्यूजिक एंड देन शी टॉक्स टू द ऑडियंस. सो
yeah,
that's what I really like about her, and that's what I've been trying to do. But
okay.
yeah, it'll take some time.
Yeah. So now that this is like 2020 and people have opinions about everything, like politics, religion, everything. So there's always this debate about right and left and how they use art. Like for example, sometimes art is used in a negative way, and sometimes it is also used in a positive way. So do you think art should be in the middle of all this chaos?
बहुत सब्जेक्टिव है. मतलब आर्ट ना आर्टिस्ट पे डिपेंड करता है. इट्स नॉट,
Yeah.
हम आर्टिस्ट सोच के नहीं
No, but
बना
I'm
देते
I'm
हैं.
asking you in the way कि should the politicians be using art form to to push their agendas?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on this. मतलब
Okay.
there are ways जिससे कर भी सकते हैं, but I'm not like completely supportive of it. It depends upon the artwork that one is creating. Because
Yeah.
बहुत सीन हो सकते हैं politics में. So I don't think हाँ मतलब there are artists who focus like whose area is politics only,
Yeah.
and they do cartoonings and everything.
Yeah.
So that's there, but not all, like most of the artists that I know of are not into politics. Either they do it only to characters बनाने के लिए या cartooning करने के लिए, but I don't think they
Yeah.
want to push a particular opinion on somebody जो कि politically बहुत ज्यादा influence करे किसी को. But yeah,
Yeah.
अभी जितने भी issues चल रहे हैं तो पर्सनली बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट ने स्टैंड लिया है इस चीज के
Yeah.
अगेंस्ट. बट आई डोंट थिंक वो पॉलिटिकल लेवल पे गए हैं उस चीज को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए या शो
Right.
करने के लिए, विच इज ओके आई थिंक, क्योंकि सोशल मीडिया से यू कैन अप्रोच अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल एनीवे एंड यू डू
Yeah.
मेक अदर पीपल like change their opinions about something
Yeah.
political. So yeah, I think that's there. But political level pe jana, I'm not sure if I
Okay.
am supportive of that or not.
Yeah. So according to you, who is a real artist? मतलब, if you have to define an artist, like how would you do that?
सबका अलग अलग इंटरप्रिटेशन है, मतलब ये बहुत
But for
सब्जेक्टिव
you,
क्वेश्चन है.
what it would be?
I would like to follow or to be an artist who's as raw as he or she can be.
Yeah.
They are himself when they do art. They like
Yeah.
what they do. Obviously, there are going to be times when they are not liking whatever they're doing or wherever they're
Yeah.
being, because सबके life में situations आते हैं. But ultimately, acknowledge करना अपने journey को, and not cursing yourself कि अच्छा नहीं बनाया या नहीं हो रहा
Yeah.
या कुछ और pretend करना बनने का, that's not who I want to be or who I look up to. So
Okay.
yeah, rawness basically. Yeah.
And so like there always comes a time in an artist's life कि inspiration नहीं आ रहा है, मतलब whatever you do मतलब समझ ही नहीं रहा क्या पेंट करना है या क्या बनाना है. So तू उस फेज से गई है, like कभी हुआ है तेरे
Yeah.
साथ कि like तो
बहुत
उससे
बार.
like how do you come out of that?
I always tell people also and myself also that सिर्फ एक चीज करने से ना तुम नहीं आगे बढ़ सकते.
Hmm.
Especially if you start monetizing your passion ना, तब तो बहुत
Hmm.
ही मुश्किल है, because you're mostly, your way of expression or your meditation becomes the form that is your passion. So basically,
Yeah.
for me, it's art. Uh, that's how I expressed. That's how I felt meditative.
Yeah.
But now that art has is my career, I have monetized it. I try to get into other things also, so that मैं सिर्फ एक चीज से stick नहीं करूँ, क्योंकि मुझे सीखने को नहीं मिलेगा ऐसे कुछ.
Yeah.
So I try to play instruments, like I try to play piano, I sing, and I love traveling. I think traveling has
Yeah,
a
I know
huge
traveling का I know.
impact. Yeah, traveling has a huge impact on most of the people. Most of the people who,
Yeah.
especially if they like to travel solo, because it gives you your time and your inspiration and the time to self evaluate कि क्या सही है क्या गलत है, मुझे आगे क्या करना है. ये चीजें बहुत important है. Plus I think meditation is like super important. If you're
Okay.
not meditating, then obviously your thoughts,
Yeah,
मतलब you
it's
don't have
cluttered.
control over
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah. So yeah, meditation, and I think people should practice different forms of art even if they don't know it. So see, I used to be a pianist when I was in school, but I've forgotten how to play it. But I'm
Okay.
still trying to get back at it. Plus physical fitness, I think बहुत important. I won't say fitness,
Yeah.
but physical exercise, physical practice बहुत important है. So I try to do cycling. और अगर मैं मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा cycling करने का, बहुत दिन हो गए हैं, तो I do yoga. Or if I don't want to do yoga, then I'll do something else. So I keep switching
Yeah.
between things so that there is always something new to learn. और मुझे कुछ अपने बारे में भी सीखने को मिले. I learn a new skill, I learn a new software, learn a new
Yeah.
language, meet people. So yeah, I think everybody should keep experimenting with the things around them, apart from what they've chosen to monetize.
Okay. And how important it is for an artist to be like original and unique, especially in like social media world.
I see everybody copies arts. I've also copied art, and I don't deny that fact. That's how I grew. बट यूनिकनेस अभी बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हो गया है. मतलब इस चीज़ पे बहुत फोकस हो रहा है अभी आज के टाइम पे, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली देर आर कॉपीराइट इशूज. you're stealing
Hmm.
somebody else's efforts and calling it
Yeah.
yours. So one thing is that always give credits to people who have
Okay.
created the original artwork, and if you've not given the credits, just don't call it yours. मतलब I know
Okay.
the process, जो भी दोबारा recreation का process होता है, that is very meditative, and you treat it like your own baby, but
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, partially it's not. So not claiming it to be yours entirely is very important. That's what I do, because मैं क्रेडिट्स वगैरह मतलब मेजरली पता ही नहीं होता किसने किया है क्या आर्टवर्क, बिकॉज पिंटरेस्ट और इन सब चीज़ों पे मिल जाते हैं. बट व्हेन
Yeah.
somebody asks me about the artwork that I've created, I always tell them that this is not my original artwork. I copied it from somebody else's, and I do give the credits. That is why
Okay.
जब मेरे को कुछ artworks जो clients बोलते हैं बनाने के लिए, जो कि किसी और चीज़ की कॉपी होते हैं, I
Yeah.
don't sign those artworks. I never
Okay.
sign them. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm honest
And
about that. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So before we end this podcast, so I want to ask you, if there's an artist who is like growing up to like to do what you're doing right now, like he or she wants to follow their passion, so what would be your 5 advice to them, like just plain life advices?
Life advices or like related to art?
It can be both, it's upon you.
Okay. So one thing is that just be yourself. Never, even if you like somebody else, even if you aspire to be somebody else, you don't have to be somebody else's copy. You
Yeah.
can be somebody else's version, but you don't have to be a copy of them. Just be yourself. Stay as raw as you can be. The
Yeah.
second thing is, please acknowledge that the process will take a lot of time and patience and frustration. All these phases will come, but eventually you will get there if you work hard. I mean, मुझे नहीं लगता हार्ड वर्क के बिना कुछ भी लाइफ में पॉसिबल है, कुछ
Yeah.
भी
Right.
पॉसिबल नहीं है, चाहे तुम
Right.
बिलीफ इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग थिंग, बट इफ हार्ड वर्क इज नॉट बिहाइंड बिलीफ देन यू कांट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट.
Yeah.
The third thing is that always engage in different activities apart from your passion that you have
Yeah.
decided to monetize. Always engage in different activities, because that's what transforms you into a better person and gives you inspiration
Yeah.
also. Then fourth thing is, be vocal about what you think about
Yeah.
your art or about life, because बहुत सारे लोग मतलब आई एम नॉट categorizing introverts or extroverts or
Yeah.
ambiverts, but a lot of people are not vocal about what they feel. They're not sharing about how they feel about something. और
Yeah.
वो चीज़ बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्ट करती है एक आर्टिस्ट को बाहर निकलने के लिए. ऑब्वियसली artists start expressing the same things that they're resisting in the form of
Yeah.
art, but still I think it turns out to be a barrier also. And the fifth thing is, I would say, when you wake up, you always have two choices, whether to live with your dream, to sleep with your
Yeah.
dream, or to make it happen. So for that, और मतलब सबको ना reminders चाहिए होते हैं कि हमें क्या
Right.
करना है, या मतलब obviously everybody सब भटक जाते हैं बीच बीच में. So it's important to have these notes, ये important चीजें which I've also put on my table. मैंने सब कुछ लिख रखा है, and whenever I'm going through a difficult situation in terms of anything, whatever I've wrote, all these, I think 10-15 points that I've wrote,
Yeah.
they always help me, always. मतलब ऐसा कभी भी नहीं हुआ है कि उनमें से एक भी काम ना आए. तो I think
Okay.
journaling बहुत important है, so that हमें पता हो कि हम आज कहाँ पे हैं, या हम past में कहाँ पे थे, और हम कितना
Okay.
evolve हुए हैं, या हमारा future self, we
Yeah.
should always have a journal and a vision board. So
Okay.
that's my advice,
So,
5 advices.
okay. And one last question that just hit me. You talked about yoga, meditation. So,
Yeah.
how important it is, like spirituality, how important it is for an artist? And do you think spirituality and art go hand in hand?
I think they do. For some people, most of the people, I think they do. Actually, it depends upon the artwork that they're performing.
Yeah.
Um, कि मतलब I can't judge people कि जो ये करता है वो spiritual है, या इस कुछ particular टाइप का आर्ट फॉर्म करता है वो spiritual है. ये चीज़ जज नहीं कर सकते. But I think
Yeah.
it's very important because you become self-aware, and the way of your expression, you being vocal about your artwork, you being confident, you understanding life, understanding perspectives of how, what people will like, what people will accept, what people will
Yeah.
relate to, which is the most important thing I think for artists. मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, साइंस और ये सब चीजें ना, ये हम कर सकते हैं, बट and I don't disrespect anybody else's
Yeah.
career option, but art makes us feel, art makes all of us connected to each other. And अगर हम वो चीज़ जो हम सोचते हैं वो हम पोर्ट्रे नहीं कर पाते, तो it becomes difficult for the artist also and the viewer also to judge कि if they don't relate to it,
Right.
then they don't want to see it. So yeah, I mean, I think it's spirituality is like super important. Like, I'm not a reader or
And
something. I don't read.
just to like make this even more sharper, by spirituality you don't mean God, right? Spirituality is
No,
something else. Yeah.
yeah. So there is a difference between religion and spirituality.
Yeah. 100%.
Religion is basically following any type of god, and
Yeah.
spirituality is believing in the universe,
Yeah.
law of attraction, all these things, which I think is like super important uh, to for awareness. Um, uh, like about your own behavior, everybody else's behavior, to move on in life. It's very important. Otherwise, you cling on to things and you let them affect you.
Yeah.
सो ऑब्वियसली आई थिंक स्पिरिचुअलिटी बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है एक आर्टिस्ट के लिए भी, कोई भी टाइप के आर्टिस्ट के लिए, क्योंकि आर्टिस्ट के पास ये गिफ्ट है कि वो समझ सकते हैं. मतलब वो
Yeah. Right.
काफी मतलब मोस्ट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द आर्टिस्ट आर, आई वुड से, आर स्पिरिचुअल. एटलीस्ट दोज हु हैव फॉलोड द पाथ ऑफ आर्ट फॉर a few
Yeah.
years now, but जो budding artists होते हैं obviously they I think people evolve with art और वो सीख ही
Yeah,
जाते हैं
eventually they
in the
understand. Yeah.
yeah.
And okay, so before we end this, are there any Indian artists which like you would want people to follow, like जो तेरे भी inspiration है and everyone should follow them?
Yeah, so one is Amrei Dua.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and the second one is Vidhi Khandelwal. Her handle is Ink Bucket. Then there is Neha Doodles. She's the most raw person. Although मेरा उसका जो art form है वो बहुत different है, but I still look up to her because she's like so she's just herself on social
Yeah.
media. She just portrays whatever she's going through.
Yeah.
So that's there. Then there is Sachin Samson. I love his
Okay.
processes. They're so meditative, and it makes me want to do art more.
Yeah.
So these four majorly. Then there is Shiv Suleiman.
Yeah.
She's also a very famous artist. So yeah, I think those are majorly my inspirations. But yeah, there are a lot more जो भी हैं. But yeah, I
Yeah.
majorly look up to these people.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming on the show and discussing all the artistic knowledge with us. And also,
Thank you.
like in the first two episodes, this is the third one. We haven't released the second episode yet. So in those two, we didn't talk about the spirituality aspect. This is the first where an artist has come and talked about the spirituality. So yeah, that was something really new for my audience as well, because I know how much spirituality is important for an artist. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that, and hopefully we'll do this again when like when you're free.
Sure, we can. I mean, I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
that. And thank you for inviting me.
no problem.
It was really nice meeting you after so long.
Yeah, I guess after 5 years, almost 5 years,
Yeah, 5 years. And I we should travel together for sure.
we planned, but then Corona happened. So
I know. Yeah.
okay, chalo. Thank you for coming on the show.
Okay, thank you for inviting me.